Take me to your leader. I'm just kidding, guys. I am super hyper today. Sorry about that. Today I'm going to show you a really cool lesson. I'm going to show you how to turn visitors into buyers. And the way you're going to do that is you need to test a ton of variables before you can really know what your optimal conversion rate is going to be, okay? Too many times I've seen, especially newbie sellers, they will have the same set of variables without ever split testing anything. So if you really want to know what your numbers are, and if you really want to scale, you have to know essentially what the marketplace is willing to pay for your product. And the fastest way to do that is to split test, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to turn more visitors into buyers and jack up your conversion rates, all right? So the easiest way to do this is, well, you need to use some tools to your disposal. There's a few tools out there. There's a pretty cool tool called Splitli. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of it. But essentially what Splitli will do for you is you'll be able to change your photos. Now I will say this, do not change your title. The title is very important that you don't change because it can reset your entire listing. So if you're ranking, you're crushing it on Amazon, and you change the title, you will immediately hit a brick wall and your ranking will tank. Okay, so split test everything except the title, all right? The title, you need to do your homework and make sure you have all the necessary keywords that you already know you're gonna do well with, okay, that are 100% relatable to your product. So the first one is gonna be to use a tool called Splitli, and you're gonna want to test a couple things, right? So when you're doing photos, have at least, and this is just to position yourself as strongly as possible, have at least two different, had a brain fart there. Have at least two different main photos or hero images, whatever you want to call it. The reason why you want to have two different main photos, and keep in mind, all your pictures should be professionally taken. I've seen some of the pictures that have been used with the at-home kits. I mean, it's very rare that I've seen one that I would actually say, okay, let me buy this product over a professionally, a professional photo taken in the studio by people who make a living by just taking pictures, okay? That's their niche, let them do what they're good at. So Splitli, have at least two different main photos because you don't know right out the bat if the only photo you have is going to be the top converting photo for your listing or the top converter. If that makes sense. So this is something you're going to want to split test. So the very first month that your product is live on Amazon, you'll use photo number 1. So we'll do 1 month or first month. You'll use your first photo, obviously. And second month, second photo. Rocket science, I know. But essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure your conversion rates. So this is where this gets really important, okay? So after the first 30 days, you're gonna look at your session conversion rate. And let's say you're converting at 40%, okay? 40% conversion rate, first month. It's pretty decent. But on the second month, you see that you're converting at, let's say, 48%, right? This is the second month. You can clearly see that having two different main photos, and the reason why you need a full month to test one photo is because you need sufficient data in order for you to make a good call in your business for the long term. Now, if you change it and it goes down and it goes to, I don't know, let's say 38%, then you'll know, okay, this is my optimal, this is the winner right here. So then you'll do a little happy face there, winner. And 2% might not be a lot, but again, if you have 30 days, these will be pretty solid numbers overall, okay? So you want to have two different photos because 2% is a difference, sure, but if it increases it by 8%, right, that's a lot more money in your pocket over the long term. I hope I'm making sense there. And that's the reason why you want to have 2 main photos. And this should be your default. And of course, all photos should be the same, but the ultimate way to do this, and if you only have 1 photo already, send your product to a professional photographer and get that photo, get a second photo for you, right? And if you can even look at your competitors and say, you know what, I really like how a couple of my competitors look, send those pictures to the photographer. That way you can tell the photographer, can you model something like this, right? So having 2 main photos is one of the easiest things to split test, and one of the most black and white things you're gonna notice when it comes to testing your conversion rates, okay? So, and then you'll use a tool called Splitli. It's pretty awesome. And the second way you're gonna do this, number 2, is split test price. You could right now be underpriced, you could be overpriced. Either of those are hurting your business for the long term. If you're underpriced, you're hurting your long-term profitability. And if you're overpriced, you're potentially hurting your ranking on Amazon, okay? So there is a sweet spot. And again, if you only have 1 price, if your price is always, let's say your price is always $39.99, and you never change it, right? You got a good feeling for what the competitors are selling. And again, when you're coming to the Amazon marketplace, you always want to have something much better. And again, it doesn't have to change the world, but you do want to have a better product. So by having a better product, you'll be able to have premium prices relative to your competitors, okay? So if you split test price, and if you're always at $39.99, what if your optimal price is actually $45.99, or maybe it's $49.99. I like $49.99. The only way to do this, and again, don't split test directly from $39.99. I said that funny, from $39.99 to $49.99, okay? Split test your price. If you're in this price category, increase it by $5, right? For 1 week, measure the conversion rates for a week, raise it another $5. If you don't see the conversion rate decrease very much, like if it goes from 40 to 38%, but you're making $10 more, you're gonna make more money long term, okay? So split test the price, and you could even be more expensive. So if you wanna see, how well you'll convert at $36.99, go ahead and do that. You can also split test down, but preferably you wanna see if you can go up, see what the conversion rates are. If they're not really affected, that means you have an awesome product that's differentiated, that the market wants, and they're willing to pay the premium price, okay? You don't have to worry necessarily about what the competitors are pricing at, only if you're not differentiated enough. But if you're differentiated enough, then you can have more fun with the prices. You'll make a lot more money, but you're gonna wanna split test your price to see what the optimal balance is between visitors and conversions. So how many people are buying your product once they land on your page, okay? So you're gonna wanna test your price, have at least 2 main photos to split test there. And then the third one is a little more straightforward, but I can't tell you how many times sellers don't know that they're making this mistake, but they're not properly being indexed for their main keyword phrases, okay? So SEO, okay? So this entails your backend, especially your backend, okay? A lot of people put whole search term phrases when in actuality you want to have individual words that are, again, 100% relatable to your product, That way you're giving Amazon all of those different variables to work with in their search terms, if that makes sense, okay? So don't do whole search phrases, do words. So for example, instead of it being charcoal teeth powder, and then, so that's your phrase one, and then your second phrase you have charcoal whitening powder. You might think, well, they're two different phrases, but ultimately the only one you're going to want to add in addition to this, again, you're giving Amazon more variables. That's what the back end's for. The front end, you can go phrases all day long. As long as it flows, throw them all in your description, throw them in your bullet points, make sure you have your main ones in your title. And I even have a video where I go over an optimized listing. If you just look for it, I go over this in detail, and I even have a free guide that'll show you step by step how to appropriately audit your SEO and set your listing up for success, okay? These are not the keywords you're gonna want in the back end. Boom, boom. If they're already here, this is the one you're gonna wanna add, right? Comma, 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 whitening, comma. Then you can put white, comma, tooth, comma, all organic, whatever, coconut. Add all of the variables for your product, but don't add phrases in the back end. And this is really important when it comes to SEO. The back end is usually where sellers have a hard time. Generally, sellers, they kind of have a good feeling of what they're going to put on the front end, but the back end is where they're struggling. Okay, so audit your SEO, and you'll see by taking out phrases if you already have them, and you're putting in the individual words, again, according to Amazon's guidelines, you can, like, within minutes see an increase in traffic due to you being now indexed properly, okay? So I hope that makes sense. These are three super simple ways to increase your conversions, get more people to pay you dollars when they hit your listing, okay? Photos, price, make sure your SEO is on point. Split test this so that way you know where your optimal numbers are selling on Amazon. And I hope you love this video. Again, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Please comment below, give it a thumbs up if you love this content. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next video.